I truly believe that we are at war. No? I'll explain myself further. At least World War One and World War Two, we knew who was the enemy. Who's doing history here? No one. At least we knew who was the enemy in World War One and World War Two, right? And we knew what weapons they were using. But I truly believe that 21st century, the year 2023, we are at war. But the challenge is we don't even know that we're at war, number one. Number two, we don't even know the weapons that the enemy is using. So now, I think I've centered my mini talk or my mini motivation, Eric Thomas things, on there to say, you know what, I truly believe that the enemy, you'll define or you'll decide who's the enemy for yourself, is after our mind and our attack. So now, I'm busy working on linear graph, no? Linear graph, yeah, if I still remember very well. And then this side will put your IQ levels, and then this side will put age. No? So now, when it comes to bacteria, it's got, I think, 3 phases of growth. You have the lag phase. No, it does not go that way. It goes the lag phase, and then you've got the exponential phase, and then you've got the plateau. So I like referencing that type of growth. This is lag, exponential, and the plateau to a human mind. To say, in most cases, from the age, let's say 1 to 8, we are all at the lag phase. This is where you're acquiring knowledge, you're getting to know more, and you're learning, and you're learning, you're learning. And then after the age of 8, 21, let's say till 21, you are at the exponential phase. This is now, you're at high school, tertiary, the amount of information you're getting is Einstein level. And then after 21, or let's say, post 45, this is now you're starting to retire, let's say 22. Now you guys are working, you're earning big bucks. Most of us, we stop growing and we plateau. This is our mind in most cases. So as I was looking at that, I was like, as I said, we're at war, right? So in most cases, when it all starts, we all look forward to acquiring new information. As toddlers, the young one, he wants to learn as much as he can, as from 1 to 8. And then we get to high school, and then we start receiving certain information. Yeah, some of us, we still acquire as much as we can. But some of us, we also start saying, nah, you know what, this is not important for me, and we start sharing that information. And then we get to tertiary, we acquire more information. And then post that, we stop. We start being very laissez-faire. Now, if I thought I had a different card. The strategy or the system or the enemy, if I can get you to think, if this is, let's say, the gradient line, if you're thinking aside, your IQ level is okay, you are growing your mind. But if you find yourself, your lag phase, plateau, you are thinking below. I'm not going to say you're stupid, but you're thinking below an average thinker. So now, if I can get you to think below the gradient line, I can safely say I've won. I don't have to worry about you. What do I mean? As we continue, I said we're at war. If I can get the young minds of young black people to think that 33.3 is sufficient for you to make it in life, if I can get you to think at that level, wouldn't I have succeeded in the long run? In terms of saying, I don't have to worry about young black minds challenging the status quo. So I think as Mr. Ndlovu had invited me was to come talk to you with regards to that. To say, how about we determine our own destiny? Let it not be decided to us by somebody else to say, this is as far as you can go and we accept that. I think it's high time we start challenging that kind of narrative. To say, how far do you want to go in life? Yeah, sure, we might have limited ourselves to medical technology, but what else is out there for you guys to go conquer? So now, in the process of developing your mind, the question would be, how do you develop your mind? So one of the strategies that we've been working on is reading self-development books. One thing that we've discovered is, yes, audio books are awesome. You listen and you finish the book within 2-3 days. But when it comes to the synaptic nerves, the neural pathways in your brain, they grow or they open up by you reading. If you don't read, then your brain does not grow, and therefore your thinking capacity does not grow. Therefore, you find yourself thinking below here. And then we wonder why, certain people you can look like, how did this person get employed? The way they think. Or how did they make it post-matric? The way they think. So now, here's one thing that I've discovered. Am I making sense though? I'm not talking to myself, because normally I speak at a church setup, there's hallelujah, amen, there's that engagement. I'm not saying you must do that. I was just saying, you guys are so quiet. Anyway, so now, self-development books. Here's one of the strategies that we've discovered. That if you want to be, let's say, 10% better by the end of the year, you want to improve yourself just by 10% per year. Because if you improve by 10% per year, in 10 years' time, you would have improved 100%. So where you are, you would be like, if you were going east, you'd be totally at worst. Hence the word repent. But now, how do I develop my mind? How do I grow my mind? If you were to just read 10 pages per day, just 10 pages a day from a self-development book, you pick whichever one you want. I'd highly recommend 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean, right?
Sean Covey, yes.
Yeah, Sean Covey. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. Just 10 pages a day. By the end of the week, you would have read 70. The week is 7 days, not 5 and 50. So you would have read 70 pages. In 2 weeks, you would have read 140. So a 140-page book you would have finished in 2 weeks, just by reading 10 pages a day. Not a lot, right? In a month, you would have read 2 books. If the book that you pick up is 140 pages in a month. So imagine if every month you read 2 books, by the end of the year you would have read 2 times 12 is 24.
Yeah.
How far on this reading gap would you be? I like to think your IQ level, your thinking capacity, you would think far different than an average individual. Just by reading 10 pages per day. But now this requires, I think you spoke about discipline. It requires a certain level of discipline. To say every day you're just going to put aside, I don't know how long 10 pages takes you, so let's say it takes you an hour. You put aside an hour to read those 10 pages. In a year's time, the information that you would have consumed, and you use that 10 years from now, because we are a sum total of the information that we've gathered. So if you are not gathering any information, you're not acquiring any new ideas, new information, what happens? I always say, most people, after they finish matric, they say you don't go to tertiary. After they stop writing the last paper, they stop reading. So if at the age of 17, that was the last time you did matric, you opened the book and you stopped reading. 10 years later, you're 27. In terms of that guy's thinking or mental capacity, what do you think that person is? That person is still grade 12 thinker. Because they have not developed or grown. Yes, they may be street smart and all those things, yada, yada, yada. But in terms of developing your thinking capacity, they are still stuck at grade 12 because they have not read any further. The last book they read was the NO book.
No.
So now, that's one way of gradual growing, whereby you just focus on 10% per year, and for you to grow 10% per year, 1% per month. And how do you do 1% per month? You will determine that for yourself. And the next thing would be, I always say, if you don't have motivational book or self-development books, read up on, what's that book? Proverbs 31. Proverbs, the book Proverbs. It's got 31 chapters. So if you can discipline yourself to say, every day I'm going to read a chapter. So you know by the end of the month you would have read 31 chapters. And that way, because Perinki, the guy who wrote that book was considered to be the wisest man who ever lived. So imagine the amount of wisdom, knowledge, information that is considered in there. Because apparently it addresses everything. How to deal with your ex, how to deal with money, how to deal with career choices, wisdom. It addresses everything. If you just read it and you internalize the information. I think the next thing would be managing our time. Or should I say priorities, how you spend your time. Because now, here we go. Time is, it's 24 hours, right? So if we divide it into 3/8, it's recommended by doctors that we sleep 8 hours. And I'm assuming you guys, grade 11, grade 12, you no longer sleep 8 hours, right?
2 hours.
You nap, basically, you don't sleep anymore.
Oh, they sleep 12.
They sleep 12. How many hours do you guys sleep?
As last.
On average, maximum.
But if they don't, then it's like maybe Instagram or something. Like it's.
So, but it is recommended by doctors that we sleep 8. But after grade 11, I think you should be sleeping maximum 6. No? 6. And then, let's say you do sleep that 8 hours. Let's say you do. So 8 times 3 is 24. So you slept 8 hours Monday, you slept 8 hours Tuesday, you slept 8 hours Wednesday. So by Wednesday, you would have slept 24 hours, you would have slept a day. You pick which day you've slept. Either you slept on Monday or Tuesday, but the full day you would not have seen because you were sleeping. But that's something else. But now you are left with 16 hours. How do you spend this 16 hours? I think the next 8 is at school, right? Going and coming back. And the 6 hours that you spend there at school. So that's dead. You are left with 8 hours. So the question would be, how do you spend your 8 hours? Because here's what I discovered. There's a young lady that stays here. So if we were to say, what's this? TikTok, hopefully it's written like this. And what's that other one? You said Instagram, and you've got Facebook, and then you've got...
Threads.
What's that other one?
Threads.
Twitter.
Yeah, how is Threads?
You don't like reading this screenshot Twitter.
Screenshot Twitter. Oh,
It's
okay.
more about reading that.
Threads.
Facebook.
Threads.
You guys don't do Facebook anymore.
C'est un trader.
Come on. But because we spend them without seeing, that's why we get to be fooled and we end up operating below an average IQ level. That's just my take. I said I'm still working on this. So, if we were to, I told my niece, define how many hours you want to spend on social media, instead of it being random. Because if it's random, then somebody else is controlling you without you being aware. But if you decide, okay, you know what, on a daily basis I'm going to spend 2 hours, then let it be 2 hours, and then you can stretch it out, you see how you spend it, instead of it being random. Because once it's random, so if we become random, we get fooled by randomness. And then we wake up 10 years from now, because I'm assuming most of you are 17, 18, 16, 15, 14, somewhere there. So let's say we are all 15 in the room. So 10 years from now, you'll be 25. That's a guarantee. You will be 25. It's not like maybe you might be. You will be 10 years from now. Question is, where will you be? What would you be doing? Because if you are random about the next 10 years, you might find yourself in a situation whereby you are still struggling in life. I think that's my son. 10 years from now, where will you be and what will you be doing? So now, what we've developed is, if you were to have a daily routine determines your week, your month, your year, and then a decade. So but success is predictable, so is failure. If you take orange juice and put it in your car, the car won't move, you know that's failure. So now the question is, what are you putting up here? If you are putting junk, or you are putting things that are not supposed to be going there, 10 years from now, when we were starting to preach, we used to say, if you are putting daily sun up here, question 10 years from now, Don't be surprised if you are constantly thinking about witchcraft. Yeah, Daily Sun is full of that thing. But if you put information that will grow you, 10 years from now, where will you be? What would you be doing? Who's to say you might not be the CEO of a particular company, your own or another company? But because we are not trained to think at that level, to say 10 years from now I want to be a CEO at Google, to think like that, like, this one is ambitious. You are daydreaming. It's because somebody has determined us to think below par. Like, no, I'm a 33, 40% level, what's this, level 2, level 3 type of person, I'm okay here. That no, we are designed to challenge the status quo, take dominion or rule or be in charge. That's how mankind was designed. I think Genesis 1:26. You were created to dominate, to rule. So the question is, are you willing to rise up to that level? Or you're going to accept somebody, like I said, somebody else to determine how far you go in life. So now, that's that with regards to time management. You will have to decide, these two are gone, forget about them. The last 8, how you spend that 8 is up to you. You develop your own routine schedule that you know, in 10 years time, if I follow this regimen, in 10 years time, I should be okay-ish in life, you know? So the next thing would be, with regards to how we manage our time, the people you spend time with. If you are, 100%, and then you've got 5 people you spend time with, they contribute 20%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the people you spend time with, they contribute towards your growth, or they devalue you. So if you're spending time with people that are stealing from you, in 20 years time, 10 years time, some of us, we used to have friends that we used to chill with 10 years ago, now we don't even talk to them anymore. But I spend so much time with those people, not saying don't have friends. Friends are important, we grow with our friends, right? So, but we need to evaluate the type of people we attract in our lives, number 1. Number 2, the conversations or how we spend our time. Are we growing one another or are we devaluing one another? In terms of the people that we spend our times with, that would be the network. And then I think, that's that with regards to mind and how we spend our time.